Hello, my name is Hermann Bischoff. I'm conducting a tire test here in Austria during April and May in spring. And what we are testing are two tires from Far East, from the beautiful country of Thailand. They are V rubber products. We have the tire type V2 175 by 65 and 14 inches T rated tire, and we have the V rubber V24 a 195 by 65 15 inches and H rated higher performance tire. I very much like to introduce to you the test procedure of our quality test for V rubber tires. Our test will cover several sections, important sections. One of it is the dry conditions, where we check the tire's abilities on roads, highways, even later on racing tracks. And we will find out what about handling, what about braking, and give a quality assignment. A very important other part of the test is the wet condition testing. Therefore, we go to the training center, driving center of the Austrian Touring Club, where we have good conditions to even do a quantitative test of wet handling. We also cover aquaplaning, straight aquaplaning, curved aquaplaning. We talk about wet cornering and certainly wet braking. So far to wet and dry testing. Very important is to get to know quality aspects of comfort. What does comfort to us mean in our test? We are interested to get to know about direction stability. How does the tire or the car run into direction? This also has to do with lateral stability. And we want to learn about in-car noise, what we hear in the car. We come to an important point in Austria, which is off-road conditions. Very soon a car can be on gravel in our country. And as we have a lot of hills, climbs, we also have to know about traction in gravel. Last but not least, we test the tire under stressy conditions. We do this very simple. We take a big part of the air out of the tire, more than 50%, and then we check what the tire does at high speed, what the tire does when cornering at higher speed, what the tire does when we climb over pavements, and how the tire works in the gravel with low air pressure. So far today, we will see a lot of testing procedures during the next minutes, and of course in the end we will let you know about our quality findings so far. And what did we do today? We had the wet test, wet surface. There were 3 sessions we did. Session number 1, we had the gliding circle with a gliding surface to find out things about grip, pure grip. Phase 2, session 2 was extended grip sector on the outer circle. And there we also made some findings about lateral stability of the tire, also handling. And the third station of today's testing was a pure handling parkour. We had a slalom, we had faster corners, slower corners, even 2 braking points in the slalom, and we had some findings. The keyword is road testing. We are on the Autobahn, the Austrian highway, and what we can check here is the tire construction, carcass, sidewalls, and also tread patterns. These things have to do with comfort of driving, because what we want is as less as possible steering corrections and, of course, low noise in the car. Wood roads, mountain roads, gravel, typically Austria, and good for testing tires. What we checked here was grip and traction of the tire. We had a close look on the tire's shock absorbing capabilities, and we wanted to know what resistance in general means. And what could we do to qualify the tires on a racetrack? Well, one thing is to use the whole of the track for longer runs, where you have all kinds of corners, fast corners, chicanes and straights. So we did longer runs there. We also had a handling parcours where we really had tough and twisty corners where the car was not easy to balance. And last but not least, we also used the racetrack for doing a braking test, again also under dry conditions. The most demanding test we probably did on the new Euroring, a racetrack in Hungary. We had the V24 age-rated tire with us. This tire here had to face a lot of stress. This was a lot of heat coming from the track. The tire generated heat. There were big side impacts coming to the tire. And, of course, the high speed on the straights the tire had to cope with. What we are testing here is the V-Rubber Citystar V2. We have the dimension 175 by 65, 14 inches. The tire is T-rated. What you can see here is the tire already has had some stress during a handling and a wet grip test here in Melk on the ÖMTC driving center. The V24 tire was very strong under wet conditions, specifically when it came to wet grip on the sliding surface. This was a very good tire. It was not so strong with regard to handling capabilities on the racetrack, and it was not so strong as well with regard to comfort. The tire is relatively rough compared to our reference tire. Here are the overall results for the V2 Citystar tire. It showed strong points with regard to direction stability. Not much corrections required from the driver. The other thing was a good grip on gravel in the wood roads. And during a tough wet test, the tire could cope with a strong reference tire, which means it is a good tire to use.